some things never change. Me not muting as soon as I go to the screen is one of those things that never change. Welcome to the stream. Thank you so much, Parz. Incredible super chat before we even did anything. It's crazy. Phenomenal. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much. This is the Army List Review Show. It's where I sit here and sip my Mountain Dew and look at bug lists, and Alex, welcome to the Champions Club. Fantastic start to the stream. Thanks, everybody. I go over your community list that you can submit in our community tab in our channel. There's a post right there. You just go ahead, submit your list there, and I'll get around to it eventually. What Alex has just done, if he has submitted a list, his priority for his list is going to get bumped to the front pretty much. So I do around 8 lists every single week. And then normally I do as many members as we have, up to 5, because I still want it to be some members and some non-members, just to kind of like share the love a little bit. But if you want your list to be reviewed pretty quickly, I keep on finishing the members, and then there's a vacancy of member lists pretty much every single week. So if you are very keen on getting your list reviewed, next Monday, I think we're back on schedule. We love bugs! Thanks, Zach. Good to see you, man. Zach's chilling in chat. Dylan's in chat too. This is amazing. Normally I just do a banging job. Apparently I said that. Okay, cool. That's good. You know, I've been quoted worse, but thanks everybody for chilling in here. It's a huge start to the stream. Very awesome. We have a great stream today, of course. You know, it would be kind of funny if I said we have a terrible stream planned, but we have 2 member lists, and then we're actually covering Sam Pope's list that he took 5th place, I think, at a tournament. I'm not 100% sure. I've been very busy today, so I wasn't able to really look too much at chat or anything. But we're gonna go over his list that did very well, and then we have 5 more lists after that as well. There's a super chat goal that we have up there. If we don't reach it today, I am perfectly fine with that. I'm just more than excited to have everybody and hang out. But if we do reach that super chat goal, I will spend a little bit of extra time going over the list that I will be playing Wednesday, which is a very cool Assimilation Swarm list that I'm excited to play on Wednesday into Zach's Creations of Bile. So that should be good. Actually, if you look behind me, you can see the remnants of a game that I played with it this weekend. So a couple things in chat. Been really enjoying your content since I discovered you. Nicely done. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. It's just been fun, really, just creating content for people. Are you going to make changes to Sam's list? No, I'm not going to pretend that I know, better at Tyranids than Sam Pope, or think about what could be done differently. I think there's one unit that I would maybe suggest, but I'm going to be honest. I'm sure that Sam went through a whole bunch of testing in order to find his list. Whatever, I'm excited to go over it. Just wanted to say thank you for all the great content. I just got into 40 recently, and I've watched all your videos and have learned so much. Incredible. At first I thought it was your 40th birthday, but I think you meant 40K. Or if it is your 40th birthday, happy birthday too. My man, Perfectly Groomed today. You're the one that said one of my songs is in your baby making playlist. How did you even download that song? Perfect. 40K, not 40. Either way, thanks for being here. Appreciate the support. Okay, so let's get right into it. Let's just boom. There we are. Ooh, let me lock this before we go. Boom. Okay, cool. You would take it back to invasion. Oh, so it's Endless Swarm. Okay, that's interesting. I actually did not see that. Let me move my face over real quickly. That was from remnants of my tier list video. I had to mess with OBS a little bit. Okay, cool. So our first list is Donut. I think, whoa, Cyan Medic. Incredible. Thank you so much. Dang, chat, you guys are killing it. Much love from a new Nid player who has been binging your videos for weeks while I paint. Incredible. Phenomenal. That sounds great. You know, and that is kind of one of my goals, is to just create some good content where people maybe learn something, but if it's something that you just have in the background while painting, I think that's phenomenal. I think that's incredible. So thank you for your support, and I'm glad that my content it's reaching you in the way that I'm hopefully intending. So we got Donat, and I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. Please correct me. I'm totally fine with you correcting me. Let's see what he's saying. Hey there. I'm still looking for some fun alternative 1,000 points. I want to share my current list, but when I play with it, I am not feeling super happy with it, mostly against rush lists like Blood Angels or tough guys like Death Guard. Okay. I'm more than happy to craft a list from zero as well. What I know from my opponents is that nearly everyone in the community like tanks and transports. This is why my only restriction is to include the T-Fex or any sort of tank hitter, which in my opinion makes the list creation of 1,000 much harder. Yeah, I would agree. I would agree. So our evasion fleet, 1,000 points, like he said, of course. We have 2 Broodlord, or a Broodlord and a Neurotyrant. Interesting, very cool. We have Hormagaunts. We have Biovore, great. Gene Stealers, Lictor, Psychophage, Screamer Killer, Tyranid. Okay, cool. So what I would think is why you're having a hard time with rush lists like Blood Angels or Death Guard is because, you know, and it might be just the problem of 1,000 points, but I think we don't have enough screens in the list. You have your Hormagaunts right here, which are going to do a great job of screening and not allowing Blood Angels to come at you just right from the jump, which I think is cool. Yeah, 1,000 points is tough. We can't spam everything that we normally like to. And so what I would figure is maybe happening is your Hormagaunts are up front. Once they die, all of this stuff is not really able to kill enough to allow for you to, you know, win the game, I guess. So a couple of things. I think Psychophage is okay. However, I'm not in love with it for 1,000 points. Like 95 points is pretty good. However, I just feel like the points could probably be better spent elsewhere as well. So immediate things, I'm probably going to end up cutting Psychophage and then the Screamer Killer, because I feel like Tyranids right now, especially, you know, not especially in Invasion Fleet, but Tyranids really want to be shooting, and I would think in 1,000 points, you're probably going to be shooting quite a bit more. You'll have 1 or 2 units that, you know, kind of go toe-to-toe on objectives. I like the Lictors right there, and then everything else in the backfield is just kind of shooting. So I actually really do like the core of Gene Stealers plus Tyranid. I think that's a great core. What I would be interested in is a couple of Exocrines. I think if we can fit a couple of Exocrines, and then maybe 1 or 2 screening units, then I think we're in a good spot. One more thing that we also need to be aware of, and something that I was about to suggest, is if we're at 1,000 points and we're invasion, Synapse is very, very, very key. So we need to make sure that we have a Neurotyrant still. Like, we're not really going to be able to cut this. We can't cut the Neurotyrant because we want to be able to have our Tyranid to have Synapse if we want it for the 5-up Feel No Pain. And then Lictors with Synapse as well is very good, especially if you're going into Blood Angels. Because it fights first with Strength 8, hitting on 2s, AP2, 2 damage apiece. That's pretty strong. And that's something that we are definitely going to want to keep. So the things that I'm going to just go right out the gate is I'm going to cut a Psychophage and a Screamer Killer, which I think will put us right at 240 points. 240 points. And like what I said before, I really like Exocrines. I think especially at 1,000 points, I think Exocrines are going to be pretty efficient. So if we do 1 Exocrine, that's going to be 135 points. So that will put us at 105 points left. Yep. 405 points. Let's see what else we can do with this. Another thing is like, do we absolutely need to have 2 lictors? I think probably yes, but what is chat? I play against a friend who only plays Death Guard. Do you have any tips or tricks for the Death Guard matchup? Yes, Death Guard. I think you move block them. Death Guard. Well, depending on the list, of course, but Death Guard, especially if they're just like infantry pushing up the field, that you can. Yes, I'm getting to it. You can kind of really tell exactly where they are. Their plays are going to be relatively telegraphed. So if you are able to move block them or make them trade in the center of the objective where you can line up and shoot at them, then that's pretty good. Like basically just send a unit out, have them commit and kill that unit and then shoot it back with exocrines or whatever. But however, I mean, if you balance against Death Guard, it can be really, really tough. I don't know. Depends. Screamer for Exo, yeah, 100%. Gargoyles. Okay, so we have 105 points. I would personally like 1 more shooting threat and then 1 more screen. And then I actually think we're in an okay place. So if we have 105 points, it's tough. The Gene Stealers, I do like the Gene Stealers. They're just eating up quite a bit of points. So, what did he say? He said, super happy. I'm more than happy to craft a list from 0 as well. Likes tanks and transports. This is why my only restriction is to include the T-Fex or any sort of tank hitter. Okay, so you know what? If your meta is pretty like transport heavy and tank heavy, I think that we probably move away from the Gene Stealers because 6 zones with the Neurotyrant could be cool. Let's take a look at that. So because 150 points, 230 points. All right, I think chat's on my side with cutting the Gene Stealers. So let's cut the Gene Stealers. We're going to add 230 points to that total. And then I actually really think we're in business. So that'll be 235 points. And what we could do right from there is we could just easily do 200 points of Zoanthropes. And then that's kind of it. 35 points. Maybe we upgrade this to a Gargoyle Squad and then just kind of be done with it. However, something that I am worried about and the reason why I'm not just immediately putting Zoanthropes in here is I do like Zoanthropes for invasion as well. I don't like Zoanthropes if I don't have a Hive Tyrant. If I don't have a Hive Tyrant, then I'm a little bit less on Zoanthropes. So for this case, I'm actually probably going to side with a second Exocrine. So I think I'm going to side with a second Exocrine, and I actually really like double Exocrine Tyrant effects. I feel like it's a pretty good core to that's pretty much everything, you know. And then we're at 100 points. So so what we could do is we could just add gargoyles. 10 times gargoyles, which is 85 points. And then we can do something just like perfectly adapted on this. It's not the best, but it'll basically just give us another like reroll a save or something, or reroll the flamer to wound. Harridan. Oh man, that would be incredible. I would love to go to a league and just like slam a Harridan, like a crusade game, and be like, hey, this is my Harridan. What are you gonna do about it? Yeah, that's sweet. You can see I got mine in the background. Okay, cool. Donat, thank you so much. And I hope this kind of clears it up. Let me talk a little bit about what I would think about 1,000 points. And I honestly haven't played too many 1,000 point games. But I think you want just kind of like a mass amount of stuff that is just gonna do one thing and make it hard for your opponent to kill. And I think a Tyranid effects does that very well. The one thing that I think this list is missing is a melee threat. But you do get to that point where it's kind of tough, you know. But you do have 1, 2, you have 3 shooting threats, and then the Narrow Tyrant is pretty good. So I would move block, move block, move block as much as you can. Send these in 2 waves. Don't commit both of these at once, of course. Do like Hormagaunts first, and then send Gargoyles out in the second turn or something like that. And then while they are move blocking, have your Exocrines shoot at those, and then Tyranid effects. Yes, his only thing was to keep the T-Pex. And I agree. I think a Tyranid effects for 1K is pretty sweet. Very cool. Could look at cutting T-Pex for zones. Yeah, we could do that, but I don't know. I think double Exocrine Tyranid effects could be pretty sweet for 1,000 points. Zage, how are you crits on 5s? How are you crits on 5s with the zone throws? Let's go to. Don't you have more points to add something else? I think he was right at 1,000 points. Yeah, this is just 1,000 points. Oh, I did. Kyle, I did some quick math. It was 100 points, so it was. I added the Gargoyles, which was 85, and then I put Perfectly Adapted on the Narrow Tyrant, which is the last 15. So yeah. But good looking out. Thank you, Parz, and you're in chat, I think. So thanks for being here, man, and thanks for all the support. It's crazy. That's amazing. Hey, man, really enjoying your content and really appreciate what you do. I'm currently trying to figure out what to build and paint up for my first 2,000 point Tyranid list. I watched all your list reviews, so I'm starting to understand what's good and what isn't, but I'm very much a Rule of Cool player. Excellent. Very awesome. I love the look of Carnifex as Death Leaps, and sadly the Norn. Hey, I don't hate the Norn. Oh, Jaldrin, be careful. I think that's just in melee. I think it's just in melee. Correct me if I'm wrong, though. And sadly, I love the Norn. I think the Norn is very cool. I think you do have to play the game a little bit differently, and I think if you just send him out, it could be a bad plan. But Norn Emissary, please can you help me with a list that lets me play those units in the best possible way? Of course. Would there be a better detachment too? For reference, I also have another Maleceptor Exocrine, 2 more Lictors, a Swarm Lord. Holy crap, man, you went heavy. This is amazing. Wing Prime Tyrant effects, Screamer Killer Sacriphage, and 3 more VRLs for easy swaps. I'm also happy to pick up Gargoyles and Hormagaunts if necessary. Very cool. Okay, legendary Pokemon. Amazing. No worries. It was a perfect intro. I like when people tell me what they're talking about. You know, definitely helps. Fight phase only. Yeah, man. Unfortunately, that would be incredible. That would be amazing. Okay, so we have Death Leaper, Hive Tyrant, Old One Eye. Very cool. 2 Carnifexes, Exocrine, Lictor, Maleceptor, Norn Emissary, Raveners, Tex RC, VRLs. Is there any way to make a Toxicrin work? Love that model. Is this 2K right here? It is 2,000. Hey, Parz, was this exactly at 2,000 points when you submitted it? So let's see. I really do like double Exocrine. I like, okay, sweet. Lictor, Death Leaper, Raveners, Norn Emissary. Okay, so things that I like right off the bat. I do like the number of lone ops or infiltrates. I really do like Von Ryan's. Let me just triple check to see if Neurotyrant does have Alien Cunning. Okay, awesome. I love that combo with the Von Ryans and Alien Cunning. The thing that we are missing right here, we are missing Battle Line. And I think like some Gargoyles or Hormagaunts would be pretty good. But unfortunately, you know, and we're not going to touch the Norn, of course. We're chilling. Let's take a look at the Toxicrin. It has been a while since I've looked at the Toxicrin datasheet, so I don't want to just start being mean to it without, you know, having room to be mean to it. Okay, it's T11, 3-up save, 14 wounds, OC 4, ranged. Yeah, oh yeah, it's got a bunch of like, it has a bunch of anti-infantry stuff, 9 inches, that's a weird range. And then it has 12 attacks, hitting on 3, 6, minus 1 AP, 2 damage apiece. Okay, its abilities. Okay, so like on a 3-up, if something falls back, that has to stay there at the end of your movement, or 1d6 for each enemy unit within 6. On a 2 to 3, that unit suffers 1 mortal. On a 4 to 5, d3. On a 6, that unit suffers d6 mortal wounds. Okay. How many points is it? It's 150. All right, so I think the Toxicroak is okay. I think it is okay. It seems pretty good at killing Space Marines, but and I said this a lot actually in the tier list video, is there are a lot of units in Tyranids that are kind of good, but we just have units that are actually better at doing what that unit wants to do. Like for instance, and we'll talk about this maybe in ParzZzival's list a little bit. Like Death Leaper's pretty good. However, I just value Lictors way more than Death Leaper because they're 20 points cheap and they basically do the same thing. And I think that's the problem with the Toxicroak is we have stuff that is really good at killing Space Marine bodies, which is what the Toxicroak looks like it wants to do. But those units are going to be a little bit more efficient and they're probably going to be like shooting. So those units are going to be, you know, good. So they're really far away and they're, you know, they're safe. And that brings me to my next points. While I'm something that I'm worried about, but tentacles. Okay, well, you got me there. I don't have an argument there. Something that I would be worried about is the Toxicroak doesn't have an invulnerable save. And something that, yes, it's T11. Yes, it has 14 wounds, but with a 3-up save and no invuln, that's kind of tough, honestly. Like, there's a pretty good chance that your Toxicroak can just be boop, you know, yeeted. And I definitely feel like the Toxicroak is a unit that wants to just be pushed up the board because it triggers all those abilities and you want it to be in combat with the Mortals thing. And so like something that I feel like is kind of actually fragile for a monster and then wanting to be in the front is kind of, it's kind of like a non-bow. But let's see what we can look. I think the first immediate thing, yeah, if I had a 4-up invuln, I would actually be a little bit more excited. But yeah, I think the first thing we're going to do is swap out, and I'm going to try and just stick to, oh, you have 2 more Lictors. Amazing. Okay, fantastic. So I'm going to first drop Death Leaper for a second Lictor, because I think at this rate, we're definitely heavy monster mash, and we kind of want to be as, you know, as point efficient as possible. I do like Death Leaper, but I like Death Leaper as a 3rd Lictor or 4th Lictor, honestly. So we have 20 points after that. I do like Raveners. Von Ryans are pretty cool too. Neurotyrant, Hive Tyrant with adaptive biology. Yeah, and I like this. If you try to magnetize them each with 4 of the Death Spitters, and what I did was I did Death Spitters on like the top arms, and then the Devourers on the bottom arms, and I just say they're 4 Death Spitters, and nobody has really recognized or even noticed or care, really. Like if I just say, hey, these are both Death Spitters, most people are like, okay, sweet. What's up, Kyle? Good to see you, man. Kyle's in chat. Dang. Okay, cool. So we're keeping the Norn, and if we keep the Norn, that also means we're going to keep the Maleceptor. I'm going to do something that I normally would not recommend right now at this point. Since we have 20 points, I'm personally not excited about 1 Tyrannifex. I personally would rather have a squad of Zoanthropes as opposed to 1 Tyrannifex. Just because, I don't know, it's something like the rule of 2. Like if we're Sith, you know, we're ancient Sith. We always got to have 2 guys to back each other up. I just really feel like a Tyrannifex might be able to be like focused down and scooped up. But before, oh, okay, I don't think we have Zoanthropes, but it's fine. Awesome, Donut. I'm glad you're here, dude. Thanks for everything, man. Sith Cowboy Gunbug. You know, since we don't have zoanthropes, I think it's okay. Let's squeeze room for a oh, you do have another exocrine. Okay, so triple exocrine is, if you guys haven't tried out triple exocrine, sheesh, it's very good. All right, well let's focus down. I actually, you can get zoanthropes, go nuts. Oh, geez. Okay, so for this list particular, if we're going Maliceptor, Norn, also I think at this point, oh, you're in the UK. Awesome, very cool. At this point, if we really want to do Norn and Maliceptor, and like triple exocrine, maybe this is Synapse. Parz, do you have a preference for Jordan, aka Darth Bane? Do you have a preference for detachment? Best big bug around. Would there be a better detachment too? Yeah. Okay. So what I would and it might stink. I think, and you don't have to, if you're really set on the Carnifexes and old One Eye package. I think you can keep them. However, if I think it's like with Norn and old One Eye, you have to have one or the other, because with these guys, they take so they take so many points out, and it's tough. It's tough. So I'm going to move old One Eye and Carnifexes, and we can put them back if absolutely needed. But that is going to put us at 400 points right now. If you haven't tried Synaptic Nexus, I think you could. Awesome, Pulp. Thanks for stopping by, man. It's great to see you. I'll catch you later. You could try Synaptic Nexus is what I'm trying to get at, and I'm failing. But some really cool things you can do with Synaptic Nexus is we immediately go double T-Fex instead, which actually puts us at a pretty cool spot. Triple exocrine. Double T-Fex seems pretty cool, and you have 210 points left. And Kyle, honestly, I'm not sure if we're getting into triple exocrine range just because of what we got here. And however, because we're in Synaptic Nexus, I'm a little bit less excited about Von Ryan's Leapers. I've forgotten how much a Neurolictor is. Neurolictor. It is 90 points. Okay. So if we're switching detachments, there's two things that we're going to do. Alien Cunning, I believe, is 20 points, right? Man, my GW app is telling me that I'm using the free version, and I'm certainly not using the free version. I certainly paid for it. So that's 30 points. So we can add 30 points there. Because just looking at what you have right in here and wanting to use the Norn, I think it actually fits more in Synaptic Nexus. And I think there's only a couple of things that we would need to change, and then it would be perfectly fine. So adaptive biology is 25. So this is 235. We're going to want to have synaptic control on this guy, I believe, as well. I don't have a Synaptic Nexus list build. I think synaptic control is 10 points. Am I right, chat? Let me know. It's either 45 or 50. I think it's either 10 or 15 points. So that means we have 25 more points here. Did I do that right? Am I missing a bunch of points? Oh, no. So 65. Okay. Oh, it's 20 points? Okay, sweet. So that'll be at 55. And then, so I guess I need to lower this by 5. So 255. Okay, cool. And since that, another adjustment, if we're going here, I'm not super in love with VRLs, because of they're okay in Synaptic Nexus, but they're not incredible. So then this would be 325 at that point. Oh, it was for a Death Leap. Okay, no worries. Sweet. All right, so 325 points. We have double exocrine. We have all this. So things that we are going to want to do is we want to have at least 2 battle line units. Batili line. We're going to want to have 2 battle line units just to kind of screen out and initiate trade wars. And then we are also going to want to have a zoanthrope squad. So if we do the brain party, I think it's pretty sweet. Zoanthropes times 6, which is 200 points, and that will get us to 125. Very cool. So that means we are, if we did Hormigaunt, I think we are like 10 off or something. Times 10, so that would be 130 points, and we're 5. Okay, so here's at the point, and this might be, oh no, I forgot. I didn't already include the enhancement. Okay, so something that we could do, and I'm not always a fan of doing this, at 215 points right now. Is that with the 2 Hormigons? So this would go down to, this is 255. That should be 105. Dang. Lictor, Maleceptor. No, I mean, you're probably right. You're probably 100% right. So at this point, then, what I like is double Hormigons. Do you have that in there, Parz? What we could do, we cut Raveners. That's 15 points down. So that would be 60 points. Oh, we could do like cut Raveners, and then do like a 3rd Lictor. And that could be pretty cool as well. And then that would get us right at 2K, I think. I would move into like this direction. If you really like the Norn, I really don't mind the Norn. I think the Norn is a great anchor point for Synaptic Nexus. So the idea is, yeah, of course, Parz, man. The Zoanthropes are really good with Irresistible Will, and then setting up the Tyrannifexes with the Rupture Cannons to hit on 2s, then reroll 1s to hit, and then reroll 1s to wound as well, can be pretty sweet. And then I would kind of play around with the points totals. We were doing this pretty quick, but I think if your core is Zoanthropes, the Texas, pew, 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 the Norn Emissary, the Maleceptor, double Exocrine, and then your characters, and then kind of go from that to Pinky in the Brain. Incredible, fantastic. So kind of play around with the points totals. People are saying that they're sad no Death Leaper. Yeah, I know Death Leaper's pretty cool too. But I'm just excited about getting this combo going right here. Maleceptor, Norn, Tex, Zoanthropes. I think that's pretty sweet. And then being able to do Irresistible Will with that, as long with a little bit of character support, I think is pretty strong for Synaptic Nexus. All right, Parz. Thank you so much, man. Really appreciate all of your support, especially top of the stream, man. Killing it with the super chat. That was phenomenal. Thank you so much. Now, we're going to go into Sam Pope's list. Yeah, Zage, I get what you're saying there too. And I think the Battle Shock stuff that Death Leaper does is pretty cool. I think it's pretty sweet. However, I feel like sometimes it is often harder to pull off than it seems, you know. Anyways, there was a member in the community, I forget who it was, and I apologize, that last stream kind of brought to attention that Sam Pope got 5th place with a pretty sweet list. And I think it was Invasion. Correct me if I'm wrong, but we're going to take a look at it. Oh yeah, it has to be because Adaptive Biology on the Winged Tyrant. So this is the kind of swarm list that I would actually be really excited to run. As you can see, triple Exocrine definitely gets my attention. I really like that. It's sad, but like I switched to triple Exocrine with a couple of lists, and I've just been loving it. They are such a good unit. We have the Winged Hive Tyrant with Adaptive Biology. Winged Hive Tyrant is a very cool choice, and I'll get through the whole list and we'll talk about it. Tervagon, which is pretty sweet. Hormagaunts times 10, and then 60 Termagants. And in his loadout, I think he did 18 Spine Fists and 2, something like that, and 2 Strangleweb Barbs each, which is pretty cool. And then he has double Lictor Biovore, Venomthropes, triple Exocrine, Rupture Cannon T-Fex, Rupture Cannon T-Fex, and then read Discord message as a note for myself. Then I'm gonna take a look at what this Discord thing said when he was talking about it. He also had a question about like what I would recommend. He says, I'm just starting to get into the hobby. So far, I have Venomthropes, a Use Codex, and an Airbrush. Wow. I really like the concept for the Arming the Carpet aspect and the Swarm. Biggest question is the Spine Fist worth it? The Tin Man kit is $45, and the only official way to get Spine Fist and Termini sprues from box sets on eBay are $15, which is a lot when you need 80. Yes. Where would you spend your first $250 at? I would say 300, but obviously we slamming that Biovore. Very cool. So I would, 2 things. The Spine Fist thing, most of the people that you play with, if everything is kitted out the same, it doesn't really matter. Like, as if every single weapon is the same that is modeled, if you just say, okay, in my invasion fleet, my flesh borers are Spine Fist instead of actual flesh borers. And because Kyle's exactly right. You can go on eBay and you can get a bunch of Leviathan Gaunts for pretty cheap. And then anybody who you play against, most of the people that you play against, and you'll be surprised if you just say, hey, I know these are flesh borers, but I'm using them as Spine Fist, and nobody cares. The only thing that I think you might have to differentiate or do a little bit of finagling is if you want to include those strangle webs. I think the strangle webs are fine. I'm not like super, super, super excited to see them or roll with them, oh, that was funny. Like figuratively and literally with dice. So basically, play with Freshborough or Termagants, and most people don't care. Of course, this is with the caveat of check with your tournament organizer if you're going to a tournament at all, and make sure that that's cool with them. But I really don't think anybody normally has a problem. Leviathan Gaunts are amazing because they're literally like 10 years off of eBay. Yes, absolutely. You can also paint Spine Fists on the base to differentiate between them. Interesting. And you can put a different color on the carapace for strangle, like a blue or red stripe. Yeah, that's all great ideas. I'd also say be consistent and you're generally fine. Yeah. So another cool thing is like with Tyranids, if you have extra adrenal glands, just say the dudes with the adrenal glands are the flamethrower guys. I think that would be a pretty good idea too. But really, it all comes down to your local group and your TO. Most people are chill. Most people just want to play the game and roll dice and don't really care about every single model looking correctly. And if your play group doesn't do that, there's a bunch of play groups out there, Okay, so as for $250, I hate to do this, but I did make a couple of really good videos. One was the top 5 units to buy. I would recommend going in on that. And it's actually pretty sweet because almost all of these units are in there. Lictors are going to be kind of tough, but it is what it is. Tyranifexes are probably the most efficient Tyranid to buy. If you're in the States and you shop off of Amazon, of course, support your local game store, but you can get a Tyranifex for like $55. It's 190 points. And, this hobby is expensive, but $55 for 190 points in the state that we are in right now is actually an incredible rate. Because you can magnetize it as a Tervagon right there. And you can also magnetize the weapons to have the acid spray or the rupture cannon, which I recommend. I think rupture cannon is the way to go right now. However, acid spray is going to pop up and come and go, of course. All right. But that was a lot. anyways, let's look at his list. And I actually really love this list. We have the character support, of course, which I like this because it's double. Like you can regrow twice. Like this, you can regrow with the Winged Hive Tyrant with the Stratagem for free, and then you can regrow with the Tervagon. The Hormagaunts are very good as like a little trade piece. I'm assuming that he's probably running these out a little bit, more carelessly than the Termagants. I really like the number of 60 Termagants because it's kind of like a critical mass of models where most of your opponents probably cannot clear 60 Termagants off all at once. And we have double Lictor to, start business in the open field, Biovore. Venomthropes are excellent for this because of the -1 to hit and cover, and because of how you can string back Termagants. With 60 Termagants, if you really actually try, your Venomthropes are going to be in range of all of those. Triple Exocrine, like everyone loves, of course, and then 2 Rupture Cannon T-Fexes. I'm going to be honest with you. In Invasion Fleet, that's like your offensive core. Triple Exocrine, double Rupture Cannon Tyranid effects. In my opinion, right now, if you're running Invasion Fleet or Synaptic Nexus, this seems really strong to me as like a starting point. Because these guys, they just get the reroll 1s to hit, and then the Rupture Cannons kind of just fire back after that and chip away whatever the Exocrine started. So I really like this. It's a huge, like really strong offensive shooting core. And then triple Exocrine. And then you have just a whole bunch of screens. I actually really like the choice for the Winged Hive Tyrant instead of the Walkrent because the -1 to attacks is incredible when you have 60 Termagants on the field. Because if your opponent has a unit that has 20 attacks, then they have to roll perfectly in order to kill that. And then if you say, well, each of those models is -1 attack, then all of a sudden they have maybe 16, maybe 15 attacks instead of 20. So that's a huge debuff. I think this is a cool list. Eventually when I have time to paint and have my 60 Termagants ready, I'll be playing a list like this on stream for sure. It's just going to be a little bit. But I'm not going to say too much about Sam Pope's list. Obviously, he did very well. If there is a recording out there, it would be cool to see. Actually, I think he was in Tactical Turtles, wasn't he? Very cool. Awesome. Let's see what chat's doing. I'm going to get the Neural Fictor. You know what? Maybe let's not see what chat is doing. I'm going to keep going. Oh, no. Oh, okay. Next up, this is our first non-member that is on our stream today. This is Luke Rogan, 1505. Thanks for submitting your list, Luke. Happy to take a look at everything. He says, hi there. A recent communication error has resulted in me being the proud owner of 3 Norns. Hell yeah. So now I have the fun of figuring out how to run a triple Norn list. My current thought is Synaptic Nexus. But I'm very open on detachment, and my list is as follows. The Victor is banned from tournaments. This is what happens when you leave us. Oh, yeah. Okay. Sweet. So this is Synaptic Nexus, and I think I agree with you. I think that triple Norn and Synaptic Nexus would be pretty sweet. So a couple things to keep in mind. If we're doing triple Norn, we're going to have to be incredibly efficient with the rest of our points. Oh, I love that. Triple Norn, double T-Fex. That seems disgusting. Any advice would be phenomenal. Thanks in advance. Norns galore. Oh, his Kaiju Hammer is the list title. I think that's a good list title. However, I do have one edit that we could do that. Okay. Very cool. We've got Death Leaper, Synaptic Control, Power of the Hind Mind, Hormagaunts, Biovore, Lictor, Pyrovore, Haruspex. Okay. We have 45. Oh, that's right. Oh, incredible. This list is going to go hard. So we've got 45 points to start. And there's a couple of units that I think we do cut right off the bat. I think we are cutting the Harspecs and the Pyrovore. So that's 165 points that we just throw in. So that'll be 205 points. 205 points that we can get. Something that I really do actually want, and I know it's going to be kind of annoying, is I would like at least one Exocrine. However, actually in this list, there's an argument that maybe we don't need Exocrines because we have the availability of Irresistible Will. So like we're going to be re-rolling ones to hit to anything. Pair each Norn with a Maliceptor would be incredible. Did I do that wrong? Because it was 165 and then 45. Yes, you are right. Thank you. See, this is why we need chat around. If I don't think we're going to be able to get to the triple Maliceptor. We could get to double Maliceptor. Also, the thing is, I think we need more screening. Like we need, as cool as it would be, is we only had beef on the table. We also need units to do things. So one more thing that I would do is I would actually change this to a Winged Hive Tyrant, which I think is 30 points less. I don't play a whole lot of Winged Hive Tyrants. I do think they're very good, but I don't play a whole lot of them. They're 200 points. Okay, so this is 35 points left. So this is going to be 225. So that means we will have 235 points to play with. 6 Norn Crusher list called the Arby's. Oh my gosh. 235 points. So what we could do is we could do an Exocrine and then 100 points of stuff. But I'm kind of more in the camp of just doing a bunch of other stuff to support everything else here. Another thing we could think about is Zoanthropes. Nah, we're triple Norn, so we need to just have the rest of the list be stuff, in my opinion. So I would do Gargoyles times 10, and we're going to do that twice. Yes, chat, I know. I'm doing the thing where I just do Gargoyles. But that'll be 170 points, so that means we have 65 points left, which is not bad. Wow, this list actually might be like just shaping up. And then what we could do is we could just do another Lictor. And then we have 5 points left over. Chat, we did it. Ooh. Can we do 3 Gargoyles instead of Death Leaper? No. I'll keep Death Leaper. I think this is sweet. I think we could do this. You just worry about that Neurotyrant by itself. The thing is, here's the thing. I think everyone should actually be more aggressive with their Neurotyrant. Because if they're shooting at the Neurotyrant, then they're not shooting at like triple Norn, double Tyrannifex. And if they're not shooting at triple Norn, double Tyrannifex, then they're probably losing the game. Because triple Norn is just going to like push into the center and could be really tough. The reason why I like the Winged Hive Tyrant instead of the Walking Hive Tyrant is because with this list, we actually don't really need Advance and Shoot at all. And I actually kind of favor the -1 attacks for Norns, because you can just have the Hive Tyrant fly, you know, a little bit back, but still hanging out with it, and then just trigger the -1 attacks, and then all of a sudden Norn emissaries become a little bit harder to kill. Things that I would like to be in this list, if we were interested in cutting the Tyrannifexes, then we could do Maliceptors, which I actually really like Maliceptors paired with Norns. I think there's a pretty good list where in here where we cut a Norn and, you know, cut one of these units, and then we have double Maliceptor walking up with double Norns. That would be cool as well. I do miss Exocrines in this. However, I am kind of leaning in on the fact that we're going to be using Irresistible Will pretty much as possible, so that we can re-roll those ones to hit instead of spamming Irresistible Will. If we had Zoanthropes in here already, that would be sweet. But again, I want this person to play triple Norn because it is a ride. It is funny. It's 220, not 225. Does that change any of our math? I don't think so. Oh, were we only at 65 points? We had 65 points left, chat. Is that what's going on? Yeah, at that point, then I think we definitely do a Neurolictor instead of the Death Leaper. Did I finish this? Oh, the second Lictor brought us to 5. Okay, cool. So it should be 10. And then at that point, I would like to do Neurolictor instead of Death Leaper, in my opinion. Just because it's another good Synapse unit. And if we do get that +1 to wound, then it actually really does help out Norns. Yeah, good catch, chat. I think we have 10 left over, and then we would just convert the Death Leaper to Neurolictor. Thanks, everybody. Neurolictor. 90 points. Awesome. Okay, cool. But anyways, I don't think this is bad. You know, and I think people have I think I cut Norns a bunch, so people think I really don't like Norns. But we'll see. Alex, I would love to. I will get your list next week for sure, because I want to make sure that we focus on everything. I really do appreciate it. The membership. I just want to make sure that we get, because I don't have a huge like you know, it's not terrible if I run too super late, but I you know, I do have to get and make dinner for my wife. So, but absolutely, you'll be the first one next week, and I do appreciate the membership. Donat, you had 100 points left. What are we doing? Let me just remind myself what we got going on. Oh, with Invasion Fleet, and you had 100 points left. Oh my gosh. Victor. I think it's the Thropes. Oh yeah, I would do Zoanthropes in there because that would be sweet. That would be like an extra shooting thing. That could be cool. All right, before we get to the next list, speaking of, I just said my wife, and she just called me, so I'm gonna go to be right back real quick. But I will be right back very soon. Okay, we're back. Sweet, perfect. Okay, so that was Kaiju Hammer. Definitely, that was the name of the list for sure. Cool. We just got tabled by Mrs. Jordan. Ray Xavier. Hey, this is my current 2,000 points list for Invasion. Can you review it? No. Wouldn't that be hilarious? No. Yes, of course, Ray. Thank you, Nitty Nids. Very cool. Strike Force, Invasion Fleet. I love this start. Hive Tyrant, Adaptive Biology, Old One Eye. Very cool. Gargoyles, Hormagaunts. I actually don't mind this package of Gargoyles, Hormagaunts, as long as you're able to like plan it out. I think I would assume that these Gargoyles are starting in Deep Strike, and then these guys are kind of going to be like the initial waves or threats. Biovore, Carnifex. This is the correct package, especially in Invasion Fleet. The Death Spitters and everything. It is actually one of the best shooting threats that I think Tyranids have. It's probably like in top 5 for sure. And with the reroll hits with Old One Eye, it's just phenomenal. You'll see that around in a bunch of lists. It's very good. Double Exocrine. Uh-oh, Kyle, it's only double Exocrine. No, I think double Exocrine is good as well. I've just been really liking triple Exocrine. Lictor, Maleceptor, Norn, Emissary, Pyrovores. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna do another thing where I'm gonna say I'm not cutting a Norn. But I do think we are missing one or two more of these guys. Like and what I'm thinking is one Maliceptor is probably enough if we have a Norn. Okay, so I'm thinking we cut one Maliceptor, and that's going to give us 170 points. And I just want to kind of, you know, fill out a little bit of our mid-table threats or mid-table initiations. Go play in warp traffic, Kyle. No, but I think double Exocrine with the Carnifex brick is actually not bad. I think that is a pretty good trade-off. Like if we're not doing the triple Exocrine, which you don't always have to do, but we do have the Carnifex brick, I think that's fine. I think it's pretty good. But if we cut Maliceptor, let's make sure he has a Neurotyrant, right? Very cool. It would be sweet if we had Tyrannifexes, but I just don't think that's this list. I do like the Pyrovore. I think we're just looking for more scoring stuff. I don't think I think it's defo the Death Spitters. Double 4 Death Spitters on each Carnifex, and then the small guns. They do really, really well, in my opinion. Strength 7, AP 2, 1 damage piece is really, really strong. Because you get 24 attacks and you explode on 6s, and if you're next to a Hive Tyrant, then it's, you know, sustained and lethals possibly. It's very, very strong. I think we want one more Lictor for sure. So, 15 points off the Norn as well. Wow. Whew. Norn Emissary stonks. You know what I'm saying, chat? Norn Emissary stonks are going up. So let me add. So this will be 185, and we'll take 60 off. So this will be 120, which is huge. Right, Parz. Yeah, no, Tyranid weapons are kind of weird. Another thing that people sometimes suggest is the Devourers, and you get 48 shots, I think, with that. I think they're okay, but I'm not super excited about it because they don't have the AP that the Death Spitters have. And Death Spitters are like, AP2 is a really, really good spot to be in. I personally love that. Okay, so we have pretty good shooting threats. We actually also have a pretty good melee threat with the old One Eye. Something that I think this list could do or could use would be a Raveners. I like Raveners. So we'll do Raveners times 3, which would be 75 points. 120 minus 75 equals 45 points, right? Yep. Okay. And then we come back and look at this Pyrovore. Like how much, we've got 45 points left over, which is an awkward spot. How much do we really want the Pyrovore? One Pyrovore is kind of a little bit awkward. Do we need another Gargoyle? Probably not. What we could do with those 25 points is honestly, we could take 20 of each of those points, and then chat, you're going to love this. This is going to be your favorite moment of tonight. We take those 45 points and we create 3 Gargoyle squads. We did it. We done it. Boom. Triple Garg. First time it's been on stream in a little bit, but I think we did it. No, I think, what? More gargoyles from Jordan? Yeah, I've reached my final form. Triple Gargoyle. No, I actually ran a list pretty similar to this without the Norn. It was our latest Tyranids versus Thousand Suns game. And I ran the old One Eye brick. The thing with old One Eye is you have to treat old One Eye's brick not really as a melee threat, but it's more of a shooting threat. So you have to be more careful with it. Don't let it get too close. But with triple Gargoyle, double Lictors, Raveners, it'll be good. This guy starting up the field and moving with a Maliceptor could be sweet as well. Also, Pyrivore moving next to Carnifexes to make sure that you actually get that AP2 in would be sweet as well. But who submitted this? This was a great list. I really did like this list. That was Ray. Ray, good job on your list, man. It looks sweet. Yeah, cool. I hope you enjoyed what I had to say about it. Moving right along. Let's see. We've got Lucky Griffin. We have 2 more lists. 3 more lists. Oh, yeah, Jron. I think you're in chat. We have 3 more lists. All right. Lucky Griffin. Okay, just triple checking. All right. This is the first list that I've built. It's mostly just bugs that I really like. Awesome. But I'm actually kind of curious how it stands up. Hive Fleet, Norn. Awesome, Jaldrin. I think you're one of the last ones, but we'll get to you. Invasion Fleet, Death Leaper, Neurotyrant, Parasite, perfectly adapted. Interesting. Tervigon, Swarmlord. Very cool. Okay. Battle line, we have 40 Termagants. Very sweet. And I would recommend playing these Spine Fists, honestly, because sometimes Termagants are just going to get jammed up. And then just being able to shoot in combat, and you'll have lethals either from the Tervigon or, I guess just from the Tervigon in this list. Hey, Alex, it's tough. That's why I highly recommend magnetizing Carnifexes, because then you just, but yeah, I'm sorry, dude. We have Barbgots ×2, Neurolictor, Norn Emissary, Psychophage, Screamer Killer, Ranged Warriors, 3-man, another 3-man Ranged Warriors, and Zoanthropes ×3. I tried and got. I understand that it can be tough. Did you like accidentally glue a magnet to your finger like over and over? That's happened to me before. Yeah, some people. I'm not high on Barbgots. I think they're okay. I think there's worse units for sure, and I think if you're gonna run them, you run them in Invasion Fleet. So I think we're not far off from this. One thing that I would think is I think we want to move the adaptive biology, or actually let's do this, onto the Tervigon. Just because if we don't have the Hive Tyrant, we're running Swarmlord, which I don't hate. I think it's neat, and I genuinely do like seeing lists that are a little bit out of the norm. But anyways, if we're not running a Hive Tyrant with adaptive biology, then we want to have the Tervigon with adaptive biology for sure. So I would just swap that from the Neurotyrant. Neurotyrant should be pretty hidden regardless, but okay. So things that we want to do, we have double Neurolictor. Okay, so we do have 2 Lone Ops. I won't try to mess with that too much. Things that we want to do is we want to buff this Zoanthrope unit to 200 points. And again, for a lot of these lists, especially if they're playing with units that they like, I don't want to, I'm not going to deconstruct his list to make it be triple Exocrine, double Maleceptor, double T-Vex. I think if we keep it as close to the spirit of it and then kind of move from there, I think it is a good spot. I'm not in love with the Parasite, but I think we're going to cut other things first and then see where the Parasite ends up. I think the first thing that we're going to cut is the Tyranids with ranged weapons. I'm not a huge fan of them, especially in Invasion Fleet. I think for 65 points, we can do some, we can use those points a little bit better. So that means that we're going to have 130 points to play with right off the bat. First thing that we are going to do is we are going to up this Zoanthrope squad to, oh goodness. We're going to up this Zoanthrope squad to a 6-man, not 600 points. And then that is going to bring us back down to 30 points. Other things that I'm not a super huge fan of, I think if we get the third 20-man blob of Termagants in, then I actually think that the Psychophage is okay. So let's see what that looks like. And I'm just going to delete this because it's going to bother me with being 6 Zoanthropes, but only 3 weapons. I think the next thing that we want to do is 18 Zoans. Whew. Screamer Killer, I think, I don't know. If we have Screamer Killer and Norn, it's kind of just a tough spot. So I would also drop this Screamer Killer. That's going to be, so we'll have 55 points here. 55 burgers, 55 fries. And then, oh yeah, what was I saying? 120 points. We're basically just trading the Screamer Killer in for 20 Zoan or 20 Termagants. Man, you got Zoanthropes on the brain now. And then we have 20 more points. So that's 55 points left over. I actually feel like we can do quite a bit. And then at this point, I do like the Psychophage. I think it's fine in here. We are probably going to, we don't have any other, like I think we need a fast screen. I actually don't hate this list at all. I think it's kind of sweet. A third Barb Gaunts. Uh-oh. I really do think the Parasite is cool. I'm just not really sure what its role is. So I think we are going to cut that for 95 extra points. So that would be right at 150, right? Which is sweet. Okay, so this is shaping up. This is shaping up fine. And I do like that we're keeping most of it. I think Neurolictors with Termagants actually might be kind of cool. You know, getting those, like, yes, you're going to have lethals on them. And did he do Spine Fist? I would do Spine Fist for the Termagants. But being +1 to wound could be pretty sweet. And triggering that off of the Neurolictor is not impossible. But since we have 150 points at this point, I think next up we do Venomthropes, which is going to be 70 points. Let's just do this just to tidy things up a little bit. And then that we have 80 points left over. Let's see what else we could do. Raveners would be sweet. Norn hub. Hey, I didn't say anything. I might have typed it, but loving the use of the Norns again in people's lists. Yeah, Norns are pretty cool. We have 80 points left over after those Venomthropes. I think I like Raveners, and then that kind of swings, kind of fills that out. And honestly, it's kind of cool because, like, I personally feel like we didn't change too much. Like, we didn't dismantle this list entirely. Obviously, did we adjust 15 points? Oh no, I don't know. I forget, honestly. So we either have 20 points left over or, okay, if we didn't, then this is 95. What can we do for 95 points, chat? Oh, 985. Oh, do we just do a second Psychophage instead of Raveners? That would be incredible. Actually, I don't know if it would be incredible, but it would be kind of cool. The reason why I actually don't, I'm actually going back on the Psychophage. I don't think I like it because we have a Tervagon that's going to regrow, and then we have the 5-up Feel No Pain strat, like, all the time, which could be, I think it's fine. Chat, do we want, like, Raveners and then 20 extra points, or do we want a Psychophage? Another thing, if we have 20 extra points, honestly, we could probably change the Swarmlord to a Hive Tyrant on foot with Adaptive Biology. And that kind of, maybe we do Perfectly Adapted on it instead. So there's a couple of different routes. I'm going to kind of leave the last 100 points open-ended for whoever's list it is. And then we can, because I think the last 100 points in Tyranids, especially the last 100 points, you can do a lot of things with it. Some things that I might think about doing is do Raveners, and then the last 20-ish points, change the Swarmlord into a Hive Tyrant so that you get the free strat. Not Swarmy, no! With Adaptive Biology or Perfectly Adapted. That could be sweet. Another reason why I like the Swarmlord, actually, is it's another source of lethal hits for the Termagants, and as well as the Barbgaunts as well. If we're running 10 Barbgaunts, I think a source of lethal hits would be good, because if you get sustained and lethals, these guys can actually cook. Otherwise, they're not amazing. But I think Barbgaunts probably kind of leaning me towards that walking hive tyrant. Yeah, but cool. Who posted this list? Definitely a little bit straying from the norm, not the Norn. But I do like this. This was sweet. Thank you for sharing this list. DeWoy, I think chat has helped out already, and thank you, chat. You guys are incredible. Thank you for helping out. It will be in the community tab. Do these streams happen every Monday? I think so. The schedule is a little bit crazy with the holidays. I just had travel and a bunch of stuff going on. So it was just kind of like wherever I could, or whenever I could rather, but I'm hoping from now on, we're going to be pretty consistent every Monday, you know, and that might change, but we'll see. So I deleted, and who is this? Oh, I forget who posted that. We have two more, but I'm sorry. I deleted his post. I must have accidentally deleted his name. Dang, I'm sorry. But this list, chat, you're going to like this list. Awesome. Very cool. And Calix, you don't have to do this, but just a little reminder for chat. If you want your list to get a little bit more priority, consider becoming a member. And I'm generally am able to have all lists that are done by members reviewed the following week. And I still do a split of some non-members and some members, but the queue is looking like 3 weeks or something if non-members, but I will get to it regardless. So he said, so I deleted the previous list I posted because your gargoyle unit video reminded me of a meme list that uses only models with the fly keyword. You excited yet, chat? I'm a new member and was wondering if there's any hope for success after some tweaking, or should it never see the surface of a tabletop? Good Lord. All right. So we're Vanguard Onslaught because most of everything that has wings is Vanguard Onslaught. Winged Hive Tyrant, Bone Sword, and Lash Whip, or I think you definitely go Bone Sword and Lash Whip for sure. Absolutely. Narrow Tyrant leads a unit of 6. Very cool. Winged Tyranid Prime. Ooh! Chat! Let's go! 60 gargoyles! Whew. Oh my gosh. Okay. 6 zoanthropes. Stuff into Tyrannocyte and Deep Strike. Deep Strike to zoanthropes. Hive. Ooh, see, I was in it. And then dun, dun, dun. Okay, mostly thinking this model can be swapped out aside from using Spore Mine Cyst to cause mortal wounds or deploy a unit within 6. Harpy's profile is just similar but without synapse. Possible replacement. Okay. Another Hive Crone, 200 points, or 6 Zoanthropes, 200 points. 20 Gargoyles with 40 points left over. Yeah, painting 60 Gargoyles. Yeah, I see what you're saying, Fire Drake, but I think just like the 3 damage at AP2 is just generally going to be an okay split. Things that I'm looking at, I think personally, you go double Neuro Tyrant on this. And I'm wondering how many points a Tyrannocyte is. A Tyrannocyte is the same number of points as a Neuro Tyrant? Oh man. I know that this is kind of a cool idea, but honestly, if you just have double, I think it would be fine. I think double Neuro Tyrant instead of the Tyrannocyte would be kind of sweet. Because then, I don't know, then you have like a bunch of zoanthropes that kind of just, yeet people. I do think that we are going to want to go invasion fleet maybe instead of this. All right, so 615 points worth of aircraft. All right, chat. What else is what else in the Tyranid Codex flies? Because I'm not stoked on the hive on the harpies and hive crones. I do like parasite flies. Okay, Winged Tyranid Prime. Oh no. So the thing that I don't like is like if you put into oh, Alex, see you later, dude. If you put into perspective, like you could have a Flyrant right here with chameleonic enhancement instead of a harpy, then like I'm doing the Flyrant. So we're gonna cut the harpy for a second Flyrant for sure. And then we could put that with the chameleonic enhancement. And then that's just a clean swap, which I personally cannot believe that a harpy is the same amount as a winged hive tyrant. It's actually more. And then he had double hive crone. Oof. Man. Okay, I think we go triple zoanthrope. I think we do triple zoanthrope. And then this last, what do we do with that? We do triple zoanthrope, triple neurotyrant, because I don't want to run hive crones. I think hive crones used to be okay, but it's like not. I don't know. I just think personally, I just think they're not. They're too spookily bad, if you know what I'm saying. So if we cut both of them, and then we put a third neurotyrant, that means we have 95 points left over. So honestly, we could do a Parasite of Mortrex and then we're done. For meme lists, it's definitely a meme list. I think if you are running a meme, I think you still want to be as efficient as possible because you want to do a meme and that's really fun. But like, I still think you want to play the game too a little bit. Dropping a Harridan. I did think about, hey, look, I'm a Harridan stan. You can see it all the way back there. I did think about just cutting all the harpies and just Harridan and the list is done. But like 18 zoanthropes actually seems pretty cool, and I probably would not run this in Vanguard with the 18 zoanthropes. I would probably run it in Invasion or even Synaptic Nexus. Yep. But very interesting list. Thank you for posting it. I appreciate it. Jaldrin. And I think this is it for tonight. You guys have been incredible. Before we get to our last list, this week I'm going to be running an Assimilation Swarm list on Wednesday night. It'll be around 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, depending on when we can get things rolling. I would love it if you guys all hung out in there and just dropped by and said hello. It's going to be a really good one. I'm probably going to be eating another jalapeno. I'm not super excited about it, but it probably will be happening if we reach our goals or whatever. Check it out. It's going to be a super fun Assimilation Swarm list. I'm actually very excited to play it and put it on the table. It is going up against some Creations of Bile, some Chaos Space Marines. So it should be a good stream. That'll be Wednesday night on this channel, 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So a little bit later. In addition, if you are liking the stream, I haven't said this at all this stream, go ahead and like the stream. Liking the stream actually really helps us. And I would greatly appreciate it if you would do that, No worries, Spooky. Cool. Awesome. All right, Jaldrin, here is your list. Got a list I'm working on for a 1,000 point tournament in February. Sweet. Had a bit of discussion on server, and this is what I've got so far. No stipulations on changes or anything for me. Rip the list. No, if you see anything that can be improved. Got a pretty large collection of bugs, so no worries on anything specific. Very sweet. Oh, awesome. And we are Warrior Bioform Onslaught. Love to see it. Okay, cool. So we have Winged Prime with Ocular Adaptation. Oh my gosh. Is this just... Okay, let me read. Any thoughts appreciative? Any ideas or improvements in mind? The second warrior lot of 3 are meant to be in reserve to arrive at board side. Very cool. Exocrines can get remove cover from the... Yes, they can, which is super sweet. And yeah, strength 11 Exocrines, I 100% agree. Raveners plus Biovore for scoring. Venomthropes plus Psychophage are to increase the durability of the warriors. Stealth plus 6 feel no pain. Damage 3 specifically. Okay, sweet. I agree on the Venomthropes. I'm interested to see. I'm not super excited on Psychophage. Let me see. So we have the Tyranid Prime, then 6 Tyranid Warriors. Oh, then okay, I see. Then three ranged with a Tyranid Prime, and then 3 ranged. So we have 2 ranged, 1 6-man, and then welcome to the Champions Club, Calixtron. Thanks so much, man. I really appreciate the support, dude. That's incredible. Thanks for joining us. Okay, so what I'm thinking is, Jaldrin, I think I would like to upgrade this, and I'm here. Let me do this just to yeah, man. I love talking about the bugs too. They're phenomenal. It's a really fun army to discuss, and it's honestly great because there's so much to discuss about them. So what I would like to do, Jaldrin, is honestly cut one of these range squads in order to try and finagle points to upgrade this to a 6-man. And this is the one that is +1 to hit, I believe. Tuesday night Tyranids. Phenomenal. Oh my God. You made me. It's 1K on the dot, and that's +1 to hit. Okay, sweet. So here's what I would want to do is I think we are going to cut one of these. I do like the other one. So that's going to get us at 65 points. And then I think, unfortunately, I just think the Psychophage, if we have to commit our Tyranid Warriors when we're just going to win the fight. And so my opinion on that is making sure that we are only putting out our Tyranid Warriors when it's like really safe, if that makes sense. So I do think that we're going to cut the Psychophage, and that'll put us at 160. So right away, we're going to have to subtract 75 points, which would lead us to 85. 65 plus 95 would be 160. And okay, so 75 points dropped, which would be, oh my gosh, I'm doing too much math. 25, which would be 85 points. Okay. So let me do that before I lose my train of thought. 85. Thank you so much. So I'm just going to do this. Cut that. Boom. 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 And then with that 85 points, this is 60. Oh, with 85 points, we just get another Tyranid Prime. And then that is the list. I'm going to be honest with you. You know, I was kind of scratching my head about like 1,000 points for Tyranids, but like now that I've seen this Jaldrin, and maybe the Warrior detachment is the move for 1K points, because they're going to trade up into whatever they look at if they are able to get into combat, and then they're actually kind of annoying to deal with because of the 5-up invuln, the OC3, and you can regen onto the point. Jaldrin, this looks pretty sweet. I would just consolidate. I would just make those changes. I think the Psychophage is a little. It's okay. It's fine. But I think if we focus our forces a little bit more, I think this is a good move. And then Donut, if you're still chilling with us, take a look at the Warrior detachment too. If you're like strictly doing 1,000 points, this seems pretty sweet for 1,000 points, honestly. So yeah, nice list, Jaldrin, and I hope that made sense to you. All right, everybody, we have come to the end of the stream. I do have to say, this stream was incredible. Thank you. Oh, you could get advanced charge. That's true. This stream was incredible. Thank you, everybody, for all the support. It was so much fun. I had a great time, and I'm glad you stuck around and hung out with us as well. Next Monday, we will do another stream, 4:30 p.m. Go ahead and become a member if you want a little bit priority on your list. If not, post your list there and I will get to it. I promise. Check out our stream Wednesday night. It's going to be a good one. And stay cool. Thanks for hanging. I'll see you next time.